one of my all-time favorite TV shows, and it's typically aimed more for preschoolers, but it's just as fun for older kids, teenagers, and even adults. Audiences of all ages are kept in mind as each episode is made. We see imaginary play, great parenting tips, modern family life, an innocent nature, and an adorable cast of characters. The message of the episodes range from a more simple narrative to something adults can relate to more than kids, and even to this day, more content is being made. In a previous video, I ranked my top 30 favorite Bluey episodes. Now, I think it's a good time to give the list an update. Starting April 9th, 10 new episodes were released on a weekly basis. Now that I have seen them all, we'll see how it changes the list I made before. We'll go over each episode, give a detailed analysis, and how I would personally rate them. As a reminder, here's a list I made the first time, just so we're clear on what we're getting ourselves into. Even though not all of these new episodes will be ranked among this new top 30 list, it would only be fair to acknowledge them all. So, let's get started on the new episodes. Hooray! Cubby. Bluey and Bingo start off with a small cubby for their stuffed toy Kim Jim, but then it gets bigger and bigger using cushions and furniture, and it's all taking place within the living room, meaning Mum and Dad have less room. Which is ironic because Mum wanted the room to be bigger and Dad wanted a bigger TV. But as the girls soon learn after losing track of Kim Jim, bigger does not always mean better. A simple message for a simple episode, but it's also packed with its funny and cute moments. Examples include when Bandit needs to use the toilet and has to navigate through the enlarged cubby just to get there.
I'm in the real toilet!
And then when the girls sit in one room in despair, howling.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow, ow!
I always find it cute during moments when the characters act like real dogs, with one of the more obvious examples being when they use the please face in the first 2 seasons.
Can we play delivery chair?
No.
Oh, please.
Oh, don't use your please face.
Even in the episode Tickle Crabs, when they use a more guilt-trippy version.
It's like you don't even love us.
You are joking, right?
How can you not love your own children?
Bluey has always been known for turning simple ideas into gold, taking the parts of our childhood we've experienced and putting it on display in a dog's world. Sure, it shows the imagination of young children, but it's very creative. The expansion of the cubby brings in many rooms, many different types of rooms. It's like the dream house car from the episode Escape, but this time more like a mansion. A child's dream of their own mansion. What can I say? It's a lot of fun, it's very creative, and a wonderful start for these new episodes. Exercise. Before he has to go to work, Bandit decides to exercise, but at the same time, Bluey and Bingo roleplay a workstation, with Bandit's exercise regimes being very convenient for their game. They use the lift, they spin around the swivel chair, and even have fun at the amusement park. Okay, now I have to explain, just in case you're somehow unfamiliar. This episode attracted controversy when it first came out and later received an edit. Originally, the opening scene showed Bandit weighing himself and being disappointed. He wanted to lose weight and even tells this to his kids.
Why did you say, oh, man?
I just need to do some exercise.
Most people who watched the episode took issue with this opening scene, accusing it of fat shaming. It seems like a straightforward argument at first, but the idea of the episode was not to comment on body image. The whole idea was simply that you should always make time to give yourself the exercise you need. Admittedly, I was a bit confused when I first watched the episode. I didn't think the episode was bad, but it was hard to really catch the message. A couple weeks after the episode was released, that opening scene was edited out, and it begins straight with Bandit starting his personal exercise program. Honestly, while I see why people may take issue with the opening scene, I don't think it's that big of a deal. All this scene is doing is displaying a realistic situation. I think I understand the message better now, especially after thinking about what was missing with the removal of the opening scene. It was Bluey who gave the suggestion to do exercise before work because she thinks Bandit's boss would want him to be happy.
Well, we won't get in the way of your exercise. And I think your boss would want you to be very happy as well.
So, on one hand, I think the message is trying to spread something positive about exercise, even if it's not done in a perfect way. But on the other hand, we want to be happy, and our peers want us to be happy. Set some time aside to make yourself happy. That doesn't mean it ranks high when it comes to Bluey episodes, because it still doesn't feel all that complete. But undeniably, it did get fun when we see Bandit playing with the kids. My opinions on this episode have admittedly been swayed a few times by how it was discussed online, but now I'm standing firm. It's a relatable episode and a fun one. I like it, but I don't exactly love it. Relax. The family's staying at a resort, and Mom just wants to relax at the beach. But everything's slowed down because the kids are so fascinated by everything wherever they're staying. Bunk bed, the safe, the toilets, the bubble bath. It's nuts. So Mom tries to relax at the beach by herself, but she's not sure how to relax.
I don't know how to relax.
Oh, come here.
So what's the resolution here? Just go about it. You don't need to overcomplicate things. Just relax. The title lays true to how one would feel watching this. It's just so relaxing watching episodes like these. But never forget that there are many different ways to relax. That's what this episode is reminding us. You can try many methods, even the ones demonstrated by your silly little kids. Just stare at the mirror in the elevator and do a huge grin. But you can also just stare out the world from your deck and take note of what's surrounding you. Remember the episode Barbecue? Bingo just wants to relax in a relaxing chair. We all have our own relaxing chair. Hopefully this season 3 episode can help you find your relaxing chair. It doesn't have to be a literal chair. It could just be something you do in your free time or appreciating what's beyond the walls of man. Well, dog. You know, you got a great Bluey episode when you realize that some tasks really are as simple as they sound.
You kids just go about it, don't you?
Stick Bird. Mom gives Bluey and Bingo a lesson on throwing sticks far, and Bingo soon runs out to get more sticks, and along the way comes across a stick shaped like a bird's head. She uses it to make what she calls Stick Bird, but that stick is the head and sand to make up the body, but she gets upset when some kids destroy Stick Bird, not knowing she made it. Bluey helps her sister feel better by teaching her to throw away the negative feelings. It was certainly an interesting enough plot, but throughout the episode we see Bandit staring off, hinting that there's something that's been upsetting him lately.
Hey, heal up.
Oh, sorry, what?
Nothing.
By the end of the episode, we see him taking his firstborn's advice and throwing away the negative emotions. This raises the question, just what was it that Bandit was upset about? Many people have thought about this, and the episode itself never gives a clear reason. It's all a huge mystery. Well, I have read some speculation about this possible source of the negative emotions.
But when you put something beautiful out into the world, it's no longer yours, really.
So, is it possible that there was something he had to give out into the world so that it no longer belonged to him? Is that what I'm supposed to be picking up by this speculation? But according to the wiki, some people suggest it may have had something to do with his job. The only thing we really know about Bandit's job is that he is an archaeologist, as shown in the bonus bit called Archaeology. In the bit, Bandit reveals a fossilized bone of the first bipedal dog to exist, proving evidence of the evolution from quadrupeds. And then, of course, he gnaws on the bone like a quadruped, like a dog. Remember that Bandit said something you release into the world isn't really yours anymore. So could it regard that bone? It was a huge discovery he made in the world of dogs, and he was the one who made this discovery. In a way, this could very well connect to the stick bird Bingo made, but that's just a theory. We'll never know the clear reason Bandit was upset, but maybe it was best it wasn't revealed. And to those who think of this episode as a direct sequel to Relax, like how Mums and Dads was to Early Baby and Handstand to Duck Cake, I disagree, because Bandit was feeling just fine in Relax. It wouldn't make sense for him to suddenly feel so down in Stick Bird. But whatever, just throw away the negative emotion no matter what it is and move on. This is why Stick Bird ranks so high, and heck, it even makes my top 10. Show and tell. If you want to talk direct sequels, this is definitely one. Remember an earlier episode from Season 3, Tina? The kids want to know why their parents tell them to do certain things, with Bandit arguing that he's bigger. But then, whoa! Introducing the kid's imaginary friend, Tina, who's bigger than Bandit and Chili. After some shenanigans, the lesson of the day is the parents have very good reason to instruct their kids, most of which relating to their health and safety.
Why did her teeth fall out?
Well, when was the last time she brushed them?
Tina doesn't brush her teeth.
Oh, well, that's why her teeth are falling out.
No better lesson can come from the Tina experience. But in this episode, they go through this issue again. Heck, they even refer back to the Tina episode.
Remember? Your invisible friend Tina beat me up. And we all learned that when I tell you to do something, I'm trying to help you.
I didn't learn that. Me neither.
You can argue they're very young kids and are not likely to remember everything they're taught, and I got that, but here the kids are wondering why Bandit's always bossing them around. Bluey even keeps track of all the bossing around that goes on, even the minor ones like,
Let's get going.
Let's get going. That's 3.
Seatbelts.
4.
Okay, look here.
Look here. That's 5.
But at the same time, Bingo's gotta practice her show and tell for Kindy. She knows how to show the crab claw she's presenting, but isn't sure how to tell about it without turning her peers off.
Pro tip, keep it simple. Kids switch off if you talk too long.
Kids need it straight and simple, and this is where Bandit once again activates his awesome dad mode. He turns on the GPS and sets the directions to stop by someplace to pick up a surfboard, but then in a twist of events, he ignores every direction on purpose because the GPS is supposedly bossing him around. Oh, Bandit, you never fail to amaze me. This is all he needed to do to help his kids understand why they're told to do certain things. Otherwise, on your way to pick up a surfboard, you might accidentally stop by a cemetery, or as Bingo calls it,
Statue World!
just keep it simple. There's no way the kids are going to understand a long, convoluted explanation because blah blah blah, brain development, blah blah, not as high attention span, blah 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 blah, and there's a lot of things they still need to learn about the world around them. Did you get all that?
No.
See?
Dragon. Remember the season 2 episode Escape? On the car ride to Nana's, the kids and the parents imagine a long-witted wacky chase as the parents try to outwit the kids. The art style for the imagination sequences is like a child's drawings, and that's actually the style that Bluey uses when drawing, as can be seen at the end of the episode and in the season 3 premiere Perfect. Well, season 3 is at it again, using this art style. And it's not just one art style, but 4. Basically, Bluey, Bingo, Bandit, and Chili only have sheets of paper and crayons, but with this limited material, they draw out a quest of 4 brave warriors in search of a dragon. It's obvious already I love the different art styles used by the different members of the Healer family. Ironically, Bandit's art style looks the cheapest, reflecting off his dialogue about not being good at drawing.
I'll give it a go, but I'm not a very good drawer.
Chili's style looks the closest to the style of the actual show. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, whoa, woman, Chili, ow, no way you made it that good. It mainly came from how Chili, as a 7-year-old, was encouraged by her mother to never give up on trying to improve, even if at that time her drawings didn't look like the picture.
Keep practicing. You'll get better. Just don't ever give up, Chili.
This is the first time we actually see this character in a significant fashion, even if she only exists in a flashback and probably maybe even a memory. Listen to these lines.
Your mum sounds nice.
Yeah, she was.
Well, whatever the situation is, not only was it nice to see these different art styles clash in this way, but it's also nice to see Chili's mum in one fashion. Wild Girls. Anything can change, even the rules of the game. It's funny how we've had a Season 1 episode that teaches us how fun it is to follow the rules, but then a Season 3 episode teaches us that games can change if need be. In this instance, Indy's in a dilemma. On one hand, Coco wants to play Wild Girls with her, but on the other, Chloe wants to play a different game. It's a huge struggle to keep both friends happy while doing the same for yourself, especially if one doesn't want to make a compromise.
We could ask the farmers for some. I told you, wild girls and farmers don't mix.
It was about time during these new episodes that we started setting a focus on Bluey's friends, while the 6 episodes that came before only focused on the Healer family. As much as I love the Healer family and their antics, it's nice to focus on Bluey's friends every now and then just the same. I also love how Coco's changed from someone who would change the rules to her advantage to someone who's strict on the rules due to the events of Shadowlands. But it is very interesting to see that within the same show, 2 episodes have conflicting messages. However, both are good messages and can help strengthen friendships. Once again, I have to say, it's so sweet to see the characters acting like real dogs, like when Coco howls after seeing Indy and Chloe playing farmers. And Calypso, once again, always has the best advice to share.
Do you think you could scare a scarecrow?
It's always so sweet seeing her comfort the kids in times of need and giving the best advice. I wish we could see more of Calypso. She really makes these episodes work. While it is a good episode, it's also pretty basic. Nothing wrong with basic, but there's not really a lot to this one. TV shop. Right after picking up the kids from school, Bandit's gotta stop by the chemist, which I guess us Americans would call the pharmacy, to pick up some vitamins. But the minute he and the kids step in, Bluey and Bingo are fascinated by the monitors from the surveillance cameras. I love how they start off the newfound discovery by making faces at it. Then the cameras switch and they see their friends in different places in the store. The Terriers, Winton, and also Coco, who at the beginning of the episode was said to have been sick, which is the reason she had to go home early.
Coco's sick. She had to go home at lunch. I hope she's okay. Maybe she has bum worms.
By using the cameras, they try to navigate the maze of aisles to reach Coco. Creative is the key word for this episode. As far as representing the modern period in which we live goes, this is one of the best examples in this show. Kids will be fascinated by all sorts of things, and if they want something done, they'll use this fascinating new thing to do it. It's also just great seeing them get together in the same place like that. This episode's a lot of fun. It's also pretty high ranking if we're talking Bluey episodes of all time. Slide. It's been a while since we've seen an episode with Leela in a major role. I don't think we've seen her often enough. In this one, she plays with Bingo on a water slide Bandit bought for them. Simple enough, but time and time again, they would stop to avoid squishing bugs that crawl across the slide. I love the innocence of these kids. What more could be said? It's a simple episode with a simple idea, but it's also a cute one. I guess I could point out some things, like how Bingo sees her second walking leaf, with the first one being spotted in Season 1, The Weekend.
Are you a leaf?
Then there's the caterpillar being saved and soon wrapping itself in a cocoon to emerge as a butterfly. That was such a beautiful moment that was able to happen because of the spark of innocence. That's what I love about this show. It always finds some way to give us a sense of innocence no matter where we are.
That's lucky.
Cricket. Well, good thing they released this episode as a bonus. It was originally 9 new episodes that were going to be released as advertised, but I think they knew they needed to save the best for last. What's great about this one is that it's an ensemble episode. I mean, most of the child characters that appear are really more in the background and a bit less focused than they are in Handstand, but it's still great to see them all together. Really, the major focus is on a game of cricket being played at a birthday party. It's never specified whose birthday it is, but the only thing you gotta know is that the adults are trying to get Rusty dismissed. But as soon discovered, Rusty plays cricket pretty much all the time, and he's dang good at it. But they keep trying. You think cricket's all about just hitting the ball? No. Us Americans can argue the same for baseball. There's so much more to it than that. Cricket is about perseverance, that undying urge to keep going, no matter how hard it may be. It usually takes about a few weeks for the crew to make one Bluey episode, but you can clearly see that it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to make it all happen. Almost like how you pitch in cricket against someone who's had a lot of experience and exposure. And even with your experience, you're always set to be in for a surprise by your mates.
I got you out!
I know! I can't believe it! What a catch!
That's what cricket's about, kid.
Now that I've talked about these 10 episodes, time to see how it changes the ranking. But first, here's how I rank these 10 episodes individually. And now that we've done that, let's compare the top 30 list from before versus now. Wow, what a change in the list. Thanks for watching.